Thanks for tuning in to A Better World, where we aim to illustrate that today is the greatest time to be alive and show the progress we're making as a civilization. I'm your host, Luis Acevedo, and in today's episode, we're going to be going over an article that I read from TechCrunch.com, and it is titled, Watch These Humanoid Robots Install Drywall. Now, what the article goes over, pretty much self-explanatory with the title, but there is this robot that a institution in Japan, which is called Japan's Advanced Industrial Science and Technology Institution, is what it is called. And they're the ones that created this humanoid robot, and its name is HRP-5P. And essentially, what it is it's a robot that is specifically made to do construction work and very tasking manual labor jobs. And in the video that they had in the article, it was actually replacing drywall and putting it up by itself, doing it all on its own. Now, the motions were robotic, to say the least. It wasn't as smooth and fluent as if a human was doing it. You could tell that it was a robot. I mean, looks aside, just the motion, you could tell it was a robot. However, this is a step in the right direction for Japan, and I'm sure it'll be a step in the right direction for other countries as well, especially countries that are suffering from low birth rates, and also not so much suffering right now, but in the future they will be with aging populations. So with older people outnumbering the young people. Basically, the reason they did this, they made this robot, is for that reason right there, is to make sure that they have something to replace people once they start retiring from these manual labor jobs and construction jobs, because they are going to have a shortage of people to do this work in the long run. So they're thinking in the future, saying these are the problems we're going to face. How can we alleviate this? Because it wouldn't be smart for a government to force everybody to have kids. I mean, you can think logically, well, it would be, then you wouldn't need the robots, but it would be an infringement on freedom. So not the greatest thing. So the substitute to that would be to make AI to do some of these jobs for us. Now, this is going to work out probably really well for Japan, I would assume, if these robots are able to replace these jobs. And not only that, not only will it help out them basically, because it will replace workers who will soon be retired or deceased, and they won't have people to fill those jobs, but also it'll alleviate some of those tasking, hard, manual labor jobs that some people have to go to every day and break their back. Now, obviously, that is something that can be looked at in a negative light as well, because then you're thinking, well, people are losing jobs to these robots, so is it really beneficial to everybody? And my opinion on that is that once this starts happening, once the robots start taking over certain jobs and things of that nature, then will be the appropriate time to start talking about universal basic income. So that way people aren't left behind and we don't live in a complete dystopia, and we can kind of generate or distribute the wealth in a way where everybody can have a piece of the pie. And the only way for that to actually happen would be for robots to start replacing us, so that way there would actually be a need for it. So that would be my rebuttal to people thinking, well, it's going to take jobs away from other people. But, it'll progress into universal basic income, I believe. Now, this is only in Japan right now. In the article, they did talk about what's going to happen to the 6 million construction jobs in America if this thing catches on. Well, if that is the case, and it does catch on, which I assume it will, or if this one doesn't catch on, somebody else will make a better one that will definitely catch on. This is something that is inevitable. But anyhow, if this catches on, which it will, I'm almost 100% certain of it, then in the United States, we would just have a way to do the universal basic income. In my opinion, that would be the best way to do it if you're taking jobs away from humans and replacing it with robots. So that means that everybody would save time, and then you would be able to make money from doing nothing. Now, I know some people are probably really upset at the idea of universal basic income, because then you're going to have a bunch of people sitting around doing nothing. But what are they supposed to do if their jobs are taken? You can say, well, they can find another job. Fair enough. But what if they're older and things of that nature and they're not able to find other work? Those are all real possibilities. So I think universal basic income will be the best way to alleviate some of the pains that will come with this inevitable change of labor. So that's the article I wanted to cover for today. It's a little short one, but I hope you all got something out of it. I hope you enjoyed it. And like always, if you like what you heard or saw, please subscribe to the Apple Podcasts and to the YouTube channel, both titled A Better World. And don't forget to rate and review on Apple Podcasts as well. Let me know what you think of the show. And if you have any suggestions on an article that you would like me to cover, please let me know. And if there's evidence that this subject you want me to cover is benefiting us and is showing progression in the right direction, then I would be more than happy to cover it. So you all have a wonderful day. Peace.